Take a look at the Busch Series Championship standings heading in tonight. Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead, 194 points, the margin on Clint Bowyer. Sorensen is third. Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin round out the top five. Jason Keller, 937 points, holds down the 10th position, and there is a good battle for that important 10th spot in the standings. The cars begin to roll off of pit road here in Fontana. 43 strong. Take a look at the starting grid for tonight's AmeriQuest 300. On the pole, Clint Bowyer, his second pole of the season. Right next to him, Casey Kane in a very fast car. Reed Sorensen in row 2 with Carl Edwards. Then in row 3, it's Jason Keller and Elliott Sadler.
Back in row 4 on the inside, Jason Leffler, Brandon Miller in the 21 car out of Richard Childers. Martin Truex Jr., the points leader on the inside of row 5. Denny Hamlin. Justin Labonte, good run for him inside of row 6. And Paul Menard out of DEI on the outside.
In row 7, Greg Biffle. Very successful at this track. And Kevin Hamlin, Johnny Sauter, and J.J. Yaley in row 8. In row 9, the former series champion David Green. And the rising star, John Wood.
Inside of row 10, Tony Raines, Kevin Harvick's car, Joe Nemechek, his own car on the outside. Then it's Jeff Burton in a Richard Childers car, David Strimmy, Kenny Walsh on the inside of 12, and Ron Hornaday on the outside.
Back in row 13, Stanton Barrett in the 40 car tonight, next to Stacy Compton. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car, along with Mike Wallace.
Hey, good run for him.
Rusty's brother, Curtis Davis, and Carlos Contreras in row 15.
But back row 16 and back in 17 there. Rusty, car on the outside of row 17.
Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield, my 64 car. We hope for a good run for him tonight. He practiced well, so we'll see what happens.
The pace car will head for pit road. Greg Biffle won both races here last year. See if he can work his way through the field. Clint Bowyer brings them down the long D-shaped front stretch here. Waiting for the green flag. The Busch Series is racing live on NBC.
Like Clint Bowyer is going to be able to lead this first lap. I thought that Casey Kane off 2 would get to use that high line to take the lead. Could not make it happen.
He sure worked at it, though, didn't he?
Well, so far got a clean start, but they're already getting 3 wide in the front straightaway. And they got to be careful about this first 5 laps because this track is slick and these tire pressures aren't up yet.
This was an impound race, so after qualifying, the cars were impounded by NASCAR. Minor adjustments only allowed to be made. To Marty Snyder.
Hey, Bill, Casey Kane told me that his 6 car is terrific in the race runs, and they never got to make a qualifying trim run in that race car. Last week at the race at Bristol, he wrecked himself trying not to wreck Ryan Newman late in that race. He told me before the start of this race, we had the best car last week. There was no reason for us not to win that race. I have to be more aggressive tonight. If the car will allow it, I will push it.
There's Elliott Sadler in the 90 car going by Jason Keller in 35. Battle for the 5th position.
They will fan out wide on this track. Very wide, very fast. Carlos Contreras in the 12 car. Black flag for passing before reaching the start line.
I got to tell you guys, I'm surprised we've had this smooth of a start. These guys are being pretty careful out there. They're all driving pretty good right now.
Alan Bestwick.
Well, Bill, Jason Keller in that 35 car could really use a good run tonight. It's been a very disappointing season for this team. Jason told me his team hit on something at Michigan, chassis setup-wise. They weren't able to take advantage of it in that race because qualifying was rained out and they didn't really find a way to get track position during the day. He said if we can stay near the front all night long, we're going to be there when the checker flag waves.
Trouble for one car already.
J.J. Yale in the 18 car. Looks like he has an engine problem. Sure looked like engine smoke in that 18.
Down on the apron.
Jason Leffler in 32 goes up the hill, but luck does not go far enough to get him the side of the 8.
It's Brandon Miller in the 21 behind him. Dave Burns, what's up with the 18?
JJ radioed the bad news. Motor on the 18. They'll pull it into pit lane, open the hood, and take a look. But so far, it sounds like that power plant is gone.
It was a short night for J.J. Yaley. This is the race for second. Carl Edwards inside of Casey Kane. Matt, how about Carl?
He took that spot. He told me at driver intros, Bill, he says, my car was so strong in practice. If it's anything tonight, like it was in practice, look out. You can see he is slowly trying to march down Clint Boyer in that 2 car.
Thanks, Matt. J.J. Yaley takes it right to the garage.
You know, it's a long way to come. Clear out to California, blow up right 2 laps in the race. This crew will be dying.
You saw the car on the apron of the racetrack. That was Carlos Contreras, as he has obeyed the NASCAR black flag, has served his penalty. He's back up to speed, but now a lap down.
Well, Carlos is hoping for the caution plate. He might not get to get the lucky dog, I believe. Yeah.
Among the cars on the move, Greg Biffle started 13th, has made his way to 7th. You can find the fast cars in a hurry up here, can't you?
I'll tell you what, it wakes you right up what's happening.
David Streamy, the 14 car, making it 3 wide off turn 2.
John Wood in the middle in the 47 car.
That's Jeff Burton in that white car, white top car behind Strimmy. Nemechek at 87 on the outside. Dave, what's going on with 47?
You know, John Wood is running this car this weekend. He's also practicing the 21 Cup car for the Wood brothers, with Ricky Rudd attending to his father's passing this week. Ricky will be here for the race tomorrow. I asked John what the best thing was about running that Cup car. He said they're hard to drive. I found out that my Busch Series car, this 47, is a piece of cake.
Well, I'll tell you what, you hear that from a lot of the guys. These Cup cars, Bill, you got 5-inch spoilers in the back. These Grand National cars were 6 1/4, 6 1/2, something like that. A lot more downforce.
And that's what John Wood told me today. The first thing he noticed was that short spoiler on the Nextel Cup car.
Those rear ends of those cars get dancing around quite a bit with no aerodynamic downforce.
Clint Boyer started on the pole. He's led the first 9 laps here at the California Speedway. This is the AmeriQuest 300.
Very interesting, but 107 degrees basically when we started this race, and it's down to 93. That's big time grip, guys.
98, Rusty, come on.
98?
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at the top left. You guys tricked me, man.
They do that to us all the time.
Well, I'll tell you what, in a little bit it's going to be 93.
Okay.
Exactly,
Okay.
you're right.
The first 12 cars did not pit. And Reed Sorensen brings the field past the green flag. Carl Edwards came out 13th after his stop. Sorensen, Biffle, Jeff Burton, Jason Keller, Paul Menard, the top 5. Kenny Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Randy LaJoy, Wally Dallenbach, and Ron Hornaday round out the top 10.
Wally worked his way up to 9th spot. Uh-oh, he's losing the spot to Ron Hornaday in the 30 car.
Hornaday said his car is going to be pretty good tonight. How about Wally, Dave?
Best way to get your track position is to stay out when everyone else pits. On that last run, Wally reported that the car was a little bit better on the loose end of the corner. It was still a little bit tied up, but for now, they're standing pat and keeping their track position.
See, Biffle in that 66 car, pressuring 41 car, and Reed Sorensen for the lead.
All over him.
And by the way, Jimmy Elledge is the acting crew chief on the 41 car this weekend. Brian Patty isn't here again. He this week received a 6-week suspension from NASCAR for the tire problems they had up at Bristol last week.
They were caught applying a fluid to their tires at Bristol last Friday.
You know, and I talked to Brian this week, and he is devastated because he really didn't think he was doing anything wrong. He was simply cleaning the tires off with lacquer thinner.
Well, lacquer thinner. Yeah, I can understand. He's just trying to get all the glue off and stuff like that. But, you know, NASCAR's got a strict rule on you're not allowed to do that. I remember a long time ago when I was short track racing, I used brake fluid. Not brake fluid, but it was ether, you know, the starting ether to clean the tires off. And
but under NASCAR rules, you can't do that. So
you can't do it. That's right. We got a lot of inspectors out. We can't pull anything off now these days like we used to.
Biffle, the new leader. Around Sorensen like we used to?
How many laps are on the 66
Gee,
tires?
that's a good move.
How you like that, you know?
So Greg Biffle leads. Time to take you through the field here at the California Speedway, starting with Alan Bestwick.
Well, how about our new race leader, Greg Biffle, who is out in front, last pitted at lap 39. I just came from his pit box. They still have 2 sets of sticker tires left. Biffle with a very solid race car so far. Remember, he got shuffled back earlier with a problem pit stop, Marty.
Alan Reed Sorensen driving the car that he won the race at Nashville, was trying to hold on to that second position right now. So the car feels really good on the long runs. That played into their decision not to pit, Alan.
Jeff Burton has worked his way all the way up to 3rd position, started 21st, did not pit under this last caution. Burton not reporting very many woes on his car, pretty solid so far. Jason Keller also did not pit under this last caution. What a solid run so far for this team. This is a NASCAR Busch Series only team. They don't have the big Nextel Cup pit crew. They don't have the big Nextel Cup aerodynamicist, but they're racing with those same teams right now, Marty.
Paul Menard, the number 11 car, Alan, said his car gets really tight at the end of the run. They decided not to pit, though. They needed some track position. He said when he goes into turns 1 and 2, it just feels like the car gives up and just will not turn. Dave?
How about Rusty's little brother Kenny in the 22 car? He's had a great run so far. Took a spring rubber out of the left rear, has put 2 in the right rear. It's really freed that car up and made it raceable as the 60 goes by him for Kenny Wallace.
And Dave, the 60 car, Carl Edwards, the first car that pitted on that last caution, rocketed up to 7th. Says the car, balance-wise, is almost perfect. Nothing else about the vibration, Alan.
Well, Clint Boyer led the opening laps of this race and then was shuffled back on the pit strategy that some of these other teams chose this last time by staying out. Boyer restarting back in the 14th position, and he has picked his way up to the 8th spot and moving forward, Matt.
Now, Denny Hamlin, who had a top 20 here in February, has worked his way into the top 10. Did not pit the last time. They have made significant adjustments, though, his previous 2 stops. One problem they had, they accidentally pulled off 3 tear-offs, Alan, as the 8 works underneath it.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. trying to pick up a spot here. 9th place now. That'll be he takes from Denny Hamlin. Truex Jr. complaining about his car's steam on the straightaway. Said the engine doesn't feel like it has that normal, crisp, powerful feeling that he's accustomed to from his Dale Earnhardt Incorporated power.
61 laps, or check that, 64 laps complete, and the 66 car of Greg Biffle leads by 0.3 of a second over Reed Sorensen. We continue to go through the field with Marty on Casey Kane.
Yeah, and Bill, once again, that 6 car is moving back to the front. It was tight when he came down pit road last time, did pit back at lap 55, took 2 spring rubbers out of the left rear, went up on the track bar trying to loosen that car up just a little bit. Jimmy Johnson continues his march as well. He said the car is tight in the center of 1 and 2, but loose in 3 and 4. They made an air pressure and wedge adjustment, trying to make the 48 just a little bit better for Jimmy, although he likes the way it's handling. Alan?
Well, it seems like every time we get in one of these NASCAR Busch Series races with the Robert Yates team and Todd Parrott as crew chief for Elliott Sadler, they play the strategy opposite of what everyone else does. They took fuel only earlier. They've taken just right side tires. This time 4 tires, and he's hustling back through the pack on the fresh rubber, Matt.
Coming off a 5th last week at Bristol, Johnny Sauter in the 1 car. The car was tight. They put a set of sticker tires on the last stop. He has 1 set left. Snyder.
Matt Joe Nemechek has 3 top 10s in his last 5 Busch Series races, making his way back up through the field because on their pit stop, they dropped a lug nut off the left rear tire. He has made his way back to 15th. Car a little too tight for Joe when he did stop. Dave?
That last run for David Stremme was terrible. His car was mostly loose. They finally came in on that pit stop, made an air pressure adjustment to help him out, but he really lost a lot of positions on that run. The 47 of John Wood, that car was really pretty good. He said, I'm great in the corners. I'm beating these guys. Where I'm slow is on the straightaway. They did take a spring rubber out of the left rear. The 34 of Randy LaJoie started 41st today, but on this last restart, he restarted 8th. They said stayed out, and he's going the wrong way. Matt?
And David Green trying to work underneath the 34 car. Now, fuel only back on lap 55, but on the stop before they took tires, no adjustment, starting to lose the balance of the race car. Meanwhile, in his mirror, Jerry Robertson, the 78, working inside the top 20, stayed out in the last stop, but he is fading. In his mirror, Alan, the 32.
Yeah, Jason Leffler trying to recover some lost track position. They did not pit on the lap 39 set of pit stops. Did come in this time, and now they're trying to make up for lost time. Who is that behind him, Dave?
A guy that's going the wrong way. Wally restarted 9th. He is all the way back to the 21st position now. And he radioed to his crew, we know why I'm running the way I'm running. And the crew chief kind of said, yeah, we know. I don't know what that is, but apparently it's something incorrectable or uncorrectable on that car this weekend.
But you'll find out for us, won't you, Dave?
I don't even want to speculate. I think it's something they don't want to talk about.
Because Wally's probably handling it real well.
Yeah, he's making laps right now.
Wally back in 22nd. Boy, it'll be fun at dinner after the race, won't he? Greg Biffle, up front, won both 2004 races here in the Busch Series, trying to win here on Labor Day weekend in California. The lights coming on all around the California Speedway in Fontana. Paul Menard on pit road. Marty.
Bill, you talked about it. One of those guys that pitted at lap 39 has to come in under green. This will bite them. They hope it stays green for everybody else. Car extremely tight, sliding through the corners for Paul. They went up 2 rounds on the track bar.
And we'll pit the next time by 4,600 seconds.
That's the leader. Talking about
pit next time, but pit this time.
we heard Biffle reply, 10-4 going to pit next time.
Boy, he didn't want to hear that.
Just put Wally Dahlem back a lap down. Wally back in 31st.
Now it goes caution. We got enough time to still do 4.
Discussing their pit strategy.
Alan, coming down to you, buddy.
Yeah, remember Jeff Burton sliding back. He was one of the guys that did not stop on that lap 54 caution BP. Look for them to take 4 tires, complaining about the front end of his car losing grip, so they'll make some adjustments for that with this Richard Childress Racing team.
As they're changing the right sides, the 6-6 car, Biffle, is on pit road.
Yep, as crew chief Newmore warning him about the crossing paths of Jeff Burton's exiting car from the pit lane. You heard the radio exchange between Biffle and Moore about if the caution were to come out while they're on pit road. Newt is looking around the racetrack. He's got his hand on the radio button while the crew goes to work on a 4-tire change. They've made an air pressure adjustment to this car, and they're just hoping this thing stays green for a while to go.
They opted not to pit under caution on lap 55. And right now, they're not feeling too good about it. And they can't make it to the end either.
No, and now they've just got to hope that the cars that did pit on that caution flag will have to pit before the caution flag waves and then get a caution, then go back in, change tires, everybody be on the same sequence. But right now, they just hope that this thing stays green for the next little while.
About 14 or 15 laps, I would say. Jason Keller on pit road. AB.
Yeah, what a great run this team has had so far tonight, Bill. They've managed to keep themselves up in the top 10.
Ricky Byers calling Brandon Miller down. Possible flat right side tire. The right front does look low. Pulls his way in now. He's been fighting a balance issue most of the race. The car has been tight, especially in traffic. They're going to make a track bar adjustment as the right side tires come out. A solid day. His car owner, Richard Childress, has been on the radio coaching him, telling him to search around, find his line. The luck's around, a little bit of trouble on the left front as the luck falls off. He's finally away. Dave Burns.
Kenny Wallace getting 4 tires. This car went south in a hurry. He restarted 6, was all the way back into the 20s. And about lap 80, he lost all grip as Wally Dahlem now comes in as well, guys. Wally's coming in. He's going to take on 4 tires. They're not going to make it. Whoa, slides to a stop in that 83 car. They're not going to make any chassis adjustments on that car. The car was pretty good, but they're having trouble on that right rear.
And Davey's way too close to the wall. I don't know if the jack man can get the car. See, he's got to jack the car up at an angle, and he wisely did that. Good move on that jack man's part.
A much longer stop than they wanted, and the car was just actually getting quite a bit better for Wally. He's away now, but a long stop. Marty.
Reed Sorensen running in the top 5. Dave hits pit road here. They did not pit at lap 55 either. A tire gets away from a team in front of them. He'll have to dodge that as he leaves pit road. He said the car very good on the long runs. Other than being aero tight, it's really pretty good. So they take a pound out of the right front tire. Reed storms off pit road trying to dodge those guys and that tire.
And I was amazed that one of his crewmen run out to get the tire for the other team because it was in Reed's way. And that's not a place you want to fool around on pit road.
No, I believe I'll let somebody else do that.
These are teams that did not pit on lap 55. And we talked about how Wally's mood was going to be at dinner after the race. It's not going to be very good now. Car 8-3, too fast on pit road.
As I tell you, the old days, we used to use a stopwatch. You know, you can maybe push a little bit, but nowadays, when you come on that pit road, the big light lights up in the tire, says you're too fast. You can't say you weren't speeding, because it lights up and you're busted, man. That's it.
Is that the voice of experience, Rusty?
That's the voice of experience. I believe I did that last week.
Yes,
I think it was.
Yes, you did. But you still had a great finish at Bristol.
Yeah, it worked out good with a good 5th place finish last week, but it sure upset you when that happens.
Elliott Sadler in the 90 has just taken 4th away from David Stremme. David, what's up with Stremme?
Stremme has had a great car since that last restart. He started 34th, and he was all the way up to 8th before a guy started pitting, so he has passed cars. Remember, he had that middle run that was so bad for the Navy car, and now Stremme is driving to the front. Told me before the race he had a good car. I believe him now.
Yeah, look at him go.
Yeah.
Guys, I believe everybody's cars will be feel a lot more comfortable now. That sun's down, the track's cooling down, there's a lot of grip. And the cars are probably going tight now. Your air pressure settings in the next pit stops are going to be probably a couple of air-pounds in the right rear tire, track bar up, things like that, bending to free these things up.
So tomorrow night, you're going to have to work on your car because you have 500 miles here, so you'll have to work on it every stop.
Man, I'm going to pit all the time. Every time that caution comes out, pit in there unless you get late in the race. But you know what? I don't think staying out's going to work at all.
I don't think so
other races. And I don't think 2 tires are going to work.
We'll see what happens here tonight. 96 laps are complete. Carl Edwards is the race leader. Here's Wally coming to pit road. Hang on, everybody.
Carl Edwards gave up the lead. Now he's on pit road. A little bit slow on his stop on the left rear. Chassis adjustment already completed. The sun has gone down. The track has gotten tighter, and his car was extremely tight, Alan.
Martin Truex Jr., the championship leader, is coming in. His crew chief, Kevin Mannion's coaching him into his pit box here. Truex not very happy with his race car, complaining that the car won't cut in the center of the corner like he needs it to, but then when he gets on the gas like he wants to, the back end breaks loose. He's got his hands full right now. 4 tire stop here.
This is what the guys that pitted, Biffle and the other guys that pitted about 10 laps ago needed. They needed the race to stay green. And for these cars that pitted on lap 55 to also have to pit under the green. Clint Boyer working his way down pit road. Was the pole sitter tonight, coming toward you, Alan.
Yeah, and as he's driving down pit road, he's calling to his crew chief, Gil Martin, hey, can you make another air pressure adjustment? They've also got the wedge wrench in hand. They're going to stick that in the car and make an adjustment as well. There it goes into the right rear corner of the car, and they'll get that in the process. And Clint Boyer, who had such a strong car early in the race, remember these are scuffed tires when they went on the car that he's taken off now. So these tires had a couple laps on them already. And boy, his right front, I'm seeing some cords on that. That's the first I've seen that today.
Now, the advantage that these cars have, they can make it to the end of the race without stopping again. Greg Biffle, 66, those other cars, they're going to have to stop again.
They're going to be about 10 laps short, Benny. That's what it looks like. And when the caution flag comes out, they're not going to be able to save much fuel because they need the tires real bad. So if this thing goes green flag, you know, these guys that just are pitting from 100 on are going to make it.
Casey Kane comes to pit road. Had worked his way around Carl Edwards. Now makes the long trip down pit road, being careful not to speed. Marty?
Looking at that shot, Bill, you see how slowly they come down pit road. The car was tight for most of that run. Casey very fast at the end of that run, though, so the car got a little bit loose. They were going to make a wedge adjustment. They called that off because Casey said the car got loose. Ray Evernham said, pack it with fuel, Alan.
Elliott Sadler pits from 5th position. Sadler running this race to try and catch up with some of the newer setups that teams on the Nextel Cup side are running, hoping that he'll learn some things he can put to use in coming weeks.
Good stop, Elliott Sadler's crew. 14.5 seconds, 4 tires, and 22 gallons of fuel.
Jimmy Johnson on pit road toward Marty.
Yeah, Billy spent most of that run was loose actually, and he said at the end of the run the car started to tighten up a little bit, so he was afraid to change very much on it, so they waved off a wedge adjustment on this car as well. It'll be actually they decided to go ahead and do the wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment for Jimmy Johnson. Like Casey Kane, very fast at the end of that run. He hits pit road, running in the top 5. Left side tires going on for Johnson, trying to win a race in his home state. Dave?
David Stremme gives up second position. His crew chief, Randy Cox, is not here this weekend. He is attending to the needs of his family. His grandfather died this week. It's been crew chief by committee, and the committee is going to put 4 sticker tires on this car. Air pressure adjustment. David's car was turning not quite as well as he wanted. Just a little adjustment, and he believes the 14 can stay in the top 5 to the end of the race. This will take them to lap 150. And remember, Stremme made up all those positions on this last run. Good stuff for the 14 bunch, and he's off pit road.
This is a 150-lap race, 300 miles, a 2-mile track. And these guys pitting now can make it to the end. But your point earlier, Benny, the Biffle and those guys that pitted around lap 90-91 cannot.
They cannot. They've got to stop again. Carl Edwards, a 60 car, goes by the leader, Johnny Sauter, to get back on the lead lap. Currently, we only have 5 cars on the lead lap if the caution flag should come out.
One of them would be Jeremy Mayfield.
Yeah, we could use a caution right now.
Johnny Sauter leads. There's Kane in the 6.
That's a battle back for the 8th position. Oh, Brandon Miller getting a real lesson with 2 guys, one on the outside, one on the inside.
You can get an education here, can't you?
Yeah, you sure can.
Rusty, your car's on pit road, going to Alan Bestwick.
They're going to go a quarter round down on the right side track bar. They're going to go up on the air pressure. Jeremy says the car needs grip all the way around.
Well, they're going to quarter round down because I think they got that right rear track bar completely bottomed out. So he must be really, really loose. They got that thing screwed all the way down on the right-hand side. No, that's not good when you got to do that.
So Mayfield leaves pit road. And Johnny Sauter heads to pit road as the race leader. Greg Biffle will inherit the lead. We go to Matt.
Mark Reno warning his driver Johnny Sauter, the Milwaukee winner, be careful on your pit road speed. They are busting people. The car was a little loose on exit. The balance was good. His spotter sat down with him this morning and said, look, it's better to have a good finish, not an aggressive finish. He's trying to change his driving style. Johnny having a solid run, jack up, getting the left side tires on. 15.5, 16, he's finally down and away, 17.1 seconds.
Can't be happy with that. And things have cycled around, and the race leader is
Greg Biffle, 66 cars. He goes up to put Mike Wallace in the 38 car a lap down. And Ron Hornaday as well.
Hornaday's car looked a little squirrely there for a moment. So we've worked our way through a complete cycle of green flag pit stops. We've gone 50 laps of green flag racing. Greg Biffle has worked his way back to the front of the field.
And Mike Wallace in 38 does not want, actually this would put him 2 laps down if Biffle can make the pass, and obviously Wallace in 38 does not want that to happen.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the lead lap in that 8 car. He's the championship leader. He's the guy Clint Boyer wanted to finish far ahead of tonight and try and tighten up that race for the Busch Series championship. So Biffle makes the pass. He's out front. Greg Biffle leads at California. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series. We're going back to green. The top 6 cars did not pit. Top 6 did not pit. Led by Elliott Sadler.
Johnny Sauter in 2nd. Joe Nemechek in 3rd.
Jimmy Johnson, John Wood, Jason Leffler all stayed out on the track. Biffle is 7th. Then Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, and David Stremme.
And we see Edwards on the inside of Biffle going by that 66 car.
Martin Truex also got a huge break. He was the lucky dog. Gets back on the lead lap, the championship leader.
John Wood in 47, looking pretty racy.
But John Wood just drove that thing down the corner. I'll tell you what, had a big run of those guys getting into 3 there.
He said driving that Cup car helped him in the Busch car because he feels so much more confident in the Busch machine.
Well, that's for sure. There is more confidence with all that rear spoiler.
Dave.
And his car was very good on that last run. That's why they decided to stay out this time. It's the best it's been all night. They're good on fuel. The 47 stays in the hunt.
And all of a sudden, Greg Biffle is going straight backwards in that 66 car. He's gone back. He was 7th. He's back to 11th the last time by. As Carl Edwards at 6 is going towards the front.
Boy, there is a lot of traffic out there right now. Jeremy Mayfield drifting up the track. That 64 Miller High Life car.
That thing is definitely not handling good tonight. I'll tell you that.
Jeff Burton in the 29 car on the outside of Biffle trying to get by, but
These guys. Go ahead, Benny.
looks like Greg will be able to stay on the bottom of the racetrack and pass some cars.
I'll tell you what, look at that cloud of cars, guys. It looks like a caution getting ready to happen.
They're rehearsing.
Yeah, they are. I'd give each other a little bit of room right now, guys.
There's Biffle on the 66 on the inside of the 78. Got around Tony Raines in the 33. Locking onto the bumper, Denny Hamlin. So what happened there, BP?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Get something on his tires, maybe? Or well, he had
He had new tires.
Yeah, I know. But maybe he might have picked something up.
Maybe he just got back in all that traffic that Rusty talked about and just couldn't get through. Alan, what's going on with him?
Guys, I'd love to help you, and the pit crew would love to help us figure it out too, but Greg has said nothing on his
Zero.
radio. Yep.
Well, when a driver doesn't say nothing, he's got 4 sticker tires. It means he's got his hands full.
Carl Edwards, 60, has taken over the 3rd spot from Nemechek.
Jason, we watched the race for 2nd.
All right, here Edwards goes on the outside of Johnny Sauter. That is a battle for 2nd.
And while we watch this, Jason Keller has fallen further back. He's worked his way back up to 14th. And he had a tailpipe problem or something. Alan, you got that?
Yeah, Bill, there's a skirt that wraps around the tailpipes on the bottom of the car between the wheels. They have one on the left side and the right side. One of the skirts was hanging down on his car, and NASCAR wanted it removed. Bad break.
That is a tough break because he was having a solid run. Carl Edwards around Elliott Sadler for the lead. So we're convinced Carl's got a pretty good machine. What do you call it, a hot rod, right?
Yeah, it's got a good hot rod tonight, no doubt about that. And that vibration, that doesn't seem to be affecting it.
Rusty, how much running on Saturday night or in these Busch races help you guys that are racing on Sunday?
Now, that's a real controversial question because these cars are 105-inch wheelbase cars, got a lot less horsepower. They run these cars a lot freer. It means the track bars are higher, springs a little stiffer sometimes because they don't have the power to spin a tire up off the corner. So, you know, you make laps. Ask Ryan Newman. He's won the last 3 Busch races and really, really struggling in his Cup car. Can't get it to handle at all. So it hasn't seemed to transfer from the Busch car over to his Cup car. But there's a lot of drivers out there who will tell you the same thing.
Right.
It is quite a different animal. It really is.
Well, Carl Edwards has a strong car tonight, hoping for the same tomorrow night. And he starts on the pole. Carl Edwards leads at California. The caution has just come out here in California. A spin on the backstretch by David Stremme.
Running in the 11th position as he spun coming off the 2nd corner, and we see.
We got a flat, so the 40 checked in. The other guy got into me.
Said somebody in front of him checked up. When he checked up, someone ran in the back of him.
Let's see if we can see that.
Oh, they're tight there.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 in front of him.
David Green behind him in the 27. And Stremme goes down on the inside. He might have just touched the wall at the very end. I don't know. Can't really tell.
And even on this wide track, Rusty, there's not always enough room to race.
There's not, exactly right. But he did a great job missing that wall. Now, this is going to set up something. We got 16 laps to go. Who's got tires left? I believe I'd be putting them on.
I don't know if
17 cars on the lead lap.
Boy, after Kane, you know, maybe Boyer on back. Those first 4 or 5 stay out. You
I don't know.
do it, Benny.
I don't know if anybody has any tires, Rusty. I really don't.
I don't know if they do or not either.
Alan, anybody got tires left?
That's what Greg Biffle has just asked crew chief Newt Moore. He says they've got a set of scuffs with 12 laps on them, and they're kind of chatting about it. I think if cars in front of Biffle come in, he'll follow them, but if they don't, he'll stay out.
Well, pit road is open, and they chose to stay out. The first cars coming down pit road, it's like maybe Reed Sorensen and Jimmy Johnson.
9th and 10th. Sorensen was in the 9th position. Johnson was in 10th. Marty, you got them both.
And Jimmy Johnson will hit pit road. He said the car's a little free. He's going to take 4 tires here and make a wedge adjustment. Jimmy came on the radio and said, guys, you know what? We really don't have anything to lose. We're back here in the back of the field, so let's make this stop now. Let's get on 4 tires. Reed Sorensen will hit pit road also. He also has some tires left over from earlier in the race. These two have 12 laps on them. They're going to make a wedge adjustment. Car's been a little too tight for Reed, especially in 1 and 2, as we talked about earlier. Been pretty good in 3 and 4. They're taking a long time. They're going to pull a spring rubber from the right rear, and also they had a gun problem, an air gun problem on the right rear. So it's a long stop, but they're taking their time getting the 4 tires on for the third place man in the championship.
And he let the jack down on his hand on the right rear of that 41 car.
So the top 8 stay out on the track. Carl Edwards continues to lead. 15 laps to go at the California Speedway in Fontana. First 9 did not pit. 13 laps to go.
So Greg Biffle has no lap traffic. He has the leader, 60. In front of him, Matt.
BP, Carl Edwards said, be very descriptive. I want to know if he's going down low, if he's going to try me up high, and I definitely want the distance from my car to Biffle.
Jimmy Johnson had to restart at the tail end of the longest line for passing on pit road.
I saw him pass that 41 car coming down pit road.
We started 15th.
Man, I tell you what, behind this is unbelievable. They're trying their best to wreck back there.
You've got a train of cars.
Man, look at all that. That's a wreck just looking for a place to happen.
12 laps to go, though, you know, Benny. They got late on the line now.
Exactly. That's
you run out of time. These guys are getting nervy now.
So what, you try harder, or you're just more aggressive in this kind of a situation?
You're really trying harder, honestly. You're running out of time. You guys are telling you 10 to go, 10 to go, 12 to go, stuff like that. Man, you're on the throttle, and you're trying to get everything you can.
There's 3rd and 4th place cars. 6, Casey Kane. 2, Clint Boyer. It's Jerry Robinson in 78 out of Colorado.
Boyer was the pole sitter. Elliott Sadler right behind him. Let's check out the leaders.
Boyer 2 car going for 3rd spot, and that's 5 more points closer to Martin Truex Jr., the current leader in the NASCAR Busch Series. Alan.
And Benny, while Clint Boyer's been moving forward here in this lap, the last 2 laps, Martin Truex Jr. has been falling back. Remember, Boyer said he wanted to put as many cars between himself and Truex at the finish as he could.
Right now, Boyer in 3rd and Truex back in 11th. 159 points. The difference between 1st and 2nd in the Busch Series championship race.
Don't you think these guys got points in their mind?
Oh, yes.
They got a lot of races to go yet.
Yes, they
They're
sure
already
do.
thinking about points. You even thought they're going to the chase for the championship.
Yep, exactly right.
Regan Smith in 58. He's a couple of laps down. Actually, 1 lap down. Oh, Casey Kane, that 6 car almost lost it coming off turn 4.
Driving it hard, isn't he?
He's driving as hard as he possibly can.
Car's been bottoming out, though, Benny. You've been seeing that all throughout the night?
Uh-huh.
A lot of spark fire. There it goes again.
Check this Regan Smith out, man. Alan, what about the 8 car?
Hey, Benny, remember I reported earlier that Martin didn't think the engine was pulling like it should. He's reporting a sour engine at this point. He's trying to hang on and save what he can.
Got 9 to go. Closing in on Nemechek. We're going to pick up a lot of traffic right there.
Nemechek's going, boy, I wish I went down low. Oh, maybe not. Uh-oh, here we go. Full wide.
Wow, Truex in the 8th there. It's John Wood down.
4 wide. 4 wide.
Okay, who's got the most nerve here?
Yeah, who's going to keep the throttle down?
Oh, Joe Nemechek wins.
'32 car is Jason Leffler.
You watch the action on the track and check in on that story that happened on pit road, Marty.
Yeah, Bill, all I can tell you is that Darrell Lockyer is a gamer. You see him, he's getting ready to practice once again just to test out the finger on the left hand to see how it is. He told me he thinks it might be broken, but if I have to stop the car again tonight, I will do it. So that's a tough young man right there. They had it checked out. They think he's going to be okay, but he thinks he might have broken it. He'll have an x-ray when he gets home.
Johnny Sauter and Elliott Sadler.
Battle for the 5th position. And we'll give it to Sauter. Look that way.
Those over-the-wall guys never get enough credit, do they, Rusty?
No, they really don't. I mean, that was just a freak thing right there. I mean, they drop a lug off and it rolls onto that tire. Pretty wild.
Kenny Wallace runs 7th, Dave.
He's right behind this group of cars right now, the 22 is. They came in and restarted 10th. They put 10-lap used tires on that car. Kenny's picked off 3 cars since the restart.
It's really motoring up off the corner, too. The car literally was good.
And we got to say hello to Big Guy, the car chief on this 22 car. He was involved in a motorcycle accident going up to Watkins Glen, but he's recovered. And Big Guy, we're thinking about you. By the way, Keith bought you a new pair of shoes while he was out here. 17 2Es.
17 2Es. He needs a boat motor hook to the back of those things, man. Shoes that big. That's a good-looking car, guys. You know, I like that paint scheme, the AutoZone's when they got on this 22 car. Looks good on the racetrack.
He's in the best position of the cars that pitted under the most recent caution.
Driving a great race tonight. He's kept that thing out of trouble. They got the tires on at the right time. 6th place right now.
But you're not showing you Carl Edwards because he's driving away from
right, that's what I was ready to say. He's one of the only cars all night long has been in a 42nd bracket. Carl has been flying throughout the night.
1 more time.
5 more times, you just said. Well, what do we got left? Better lay it on the line right now.
If you got anything, it's time to use it.
4102, 4120 plus 1.7.
Carl Edwards, team radio. He ran a 41.02, 41.02 seconds. Biffle was 1.7 seconds slower. I'll give you an idea how fast he's going, because he's hustling.
If I'm Carl Edwards, all I want to know is he catching me.
3 to go for Edwards. When he comes by next time, we'll pop that in. Give you fans an idea of how fast he's going here. Carl Edwards starts on the pole tomorrow night in the Nextel Cup race.
Remember in Atlanta earlier in the year, Carl Edwards won both races. He won the Busch race on Saturday and the Nextel Cup race on Sunday.
And what happens when Carl wins?
He does a flip, back flip, off the car.
And Dave Burns giving him pointers on that.
Well,
yeah. Tell me, it's 8th, or was it 7th or 8th in the points? He can't afford to break anything tonight if he does a backflip. So you might want to abort that thing for tonight.
Look at your miles per hour.
4146, 4138.
They're right about 200, maybe 205 going into turn 1.
We saw some 205s in qualifying.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
Well, if you saw 205 in qualifying, then I'll back up 10 miles per hour. How's that? They're probably about 195 going in the corner.
No, we saw 205 going into the corner.
In qualifying.
In qualifying,
Hey,
but
one
not
more
these,
time, buddy.
you're not going to say that in used tires.
No.
All right, white flag has been waved.
That is a big lead, guys.
Almost 2 seconds over Greg Biffle.
We've got 2 laps to go and they're already shooting the fireworks off.
What's up with that?
I don't know, a little advance there.
They lit the fireworks off 2 laps.
Fireworks. Don't worry, still got 1 more to go.
Keep going. That's what I thought when they shoot the fireworks off for already.
Coming to the checkered, correct? 10-4, we're coming to the checkered.
You saw those fireworks going down the back stretch. The lead only won the race. Now Carl Edwards out of turn 4. Checkered flag. Carl Edwards wins in California, and the fireworks are official.
Mississippi. That is what you call a team effort, and we as a team will show this racing organization, NASCAR, that we're behind their effort 110% for the Relief Fund. Thank y'all, guys.
All right, Carl Edwards in victory lane, and I believe we know what's coming next. Carl worked on this with Dave Burns, so we'll see how much he learned since then. and the famous Edwards backflip. Here you go. Very nice. That was a well-deserved backflip. You had a vibration early on. You kind of went through everything tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't thank my crew enough. I decided we're gonna. Hey, congratulations, Jack. I'm sure you'll agree with me. I want to donate our winnings tonight to the Hurricane Relief Fund and help the Gulf Coast folks down there. So all our winnings are going to them. At least my part of it. I don't know. I think Jack will be.
Jack gonna chip in too?
Yeah, he'll do it.
Jack just gave us a thumbs up for that.
So I think Gillian Zucker and the folks here at California Speedway pay pretty well. So we're thinking about you guys. I hit the wall yesterday, and the guys fixed the car, and they didn't complain a bit. And they could have, got on me a little bit. So I really appreciate it.
And you've got a big day tomorrow. You start on the pole for the 500 tomorrow.
Can you believe that? Unreal. I'm having a great time. I have to thank everybody at home, my mom, my dad, my brother. My brother's racing at I-70 Speedway tonight. I hope you won, Kenny. I love you. This is just cool, man. It's so beautiful here. I was coming down the front straightaway on the white flag lap, and it just reminded me of racing back home. And all the folks back there, I love you. I can't thank you enough for your help. This is an opportunity of a lifetime.
And for the 4th time this year, Carl Edwards in victory lane.
16 top 10s in 2005 in the NASCAR Busch Series for Carl Edwards. The unofficial results from tonight's AmeriQuest 300 here at the California Speedway.
David Schrimme comes back from spin out to finish 9th position.
Clint Boyer finished 3rd, 2nd in the championship standings. Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. finished 15th. David Green was the last car on the lead lap.
And Wally back in 30th.
These are guys that had a disappointing day. I want to thank you, Rusty Wallace, for coming up here and joining us, and wish you best of luck tomorrow in the 500 miles here, and when you clinch a spot in that chase for the Nextel Cup.
Guys, thanks a lot. I had a great time up here with you tonight, Benny. It was awesome, and it's beautiful up here. I'll tell you what, guys, looking out the sunset, or this nice night, and Carl Edwards, I got to hand it to him. This guy put a whooping on him. Brad Parrott did a great job tonight setting that car up, and the pit stops his team did, they deserved this one.
Clint Boyer closes in just 142 points back